unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome from the East Coast of the United States of America. This is USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and we want to welcome you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We're thrilled to have you with us for another episode of A Woman's Prerogative. Today, we're going to be talking all about you and self-care. What does self-care look like to you? And how is your self-care evolving as time goes by? As I found, I'm soon to be 62 on Wednesday. Boo-hoo. No, but lucky to be here. I have changed some of the things that I do for my own self-care. We're going to be getting into that with my partner on this show. Her name is MARISKA. And I have to say she's been with me. It's got to be 4 or 5 years now. That really says something about loyalty. She is the go-to person for transformation, transformational leadership. She is an expert when it comes to helping people like engineers up their game. She's an expert when it comes to helping leaders really get some vision and clarity as to what it is they're looking to accomplish. She's also an author, and she is, unlike many people out there, go on LinkedIn, everyone and their brother and mother is a coach. This woman actually took all the steps necessary to become a certified coach. Let's welcome MARISKA, who's joining us all the way from Australia. Hello, hello. Good to see you.
Hello, hello. And thank you for such a lovely introduction.
You are welcome. How are things down under?
Well, we are moving into autumn, which for you guys, moving into spring is a bit of a contradiction in terms. So we are getting a little bit chillier and you guys are heating up, hopefully. But being the in-between sort of seasons, we never know. We might get a few more hot days and be lucky, and I'm sure that you might get a few more cold ones and be not so lucky.
Today's one of those days. You know, MARISKA, it really amazes me how we're on opposite sides of the world, and it's morning here and it's evening there and vice versa. And having known you for, I'm going to say since 2019, I think it is, could be 6 years even, I realized, you know, when I go to reach out, you're sleeping. And so you get to know someone's sleeping pattern, so to speak, because you don't actually want to be reaching out to someone in the middle of the night. But we truly are a global platform, and you've brought all of your professionalism and expertise here since the very beginning when you and I took coaching together. I'd love for you to just share, what are the certifications that you currently have and are pursuing when it comes to being a certified coach?
So currently I have my coach training and certification through ICF. So that's the International Coach Federation. And that's one of the boards that helps to regulate our industry. As you mentioned earlier, Dr. JACALYN, the coaching industry, unlike the engineering or law or even medical industry, not regulated. So we need to look at boards that we can be part of that has very good standing, as well as a code of ethics that we abide by. And for me, that's the ICF. So I am a PCC certified coach within that space. And then I am also at the moment busy with my team coaching certification. So you might wonder how those two things are different. Now, normally, I would be coaching within a one-on-one space. So I would coach a leader working through their own belief systems and thinking around how to interact with the team. Say, for instance, you need to have a difficult performance-related conversation with somebody. We still need to have the conversation, and we can do it in a way where we do show care and compassion for this other human being, because it will definitely impact them in a number of different ways. So being able to have those conversations has a personal impact on us. And I have conversations with my leaders around how they want to show up, what their being will be when they have those types of conversations. And that's more one-on-one type of conversation. Then we have the team coaching space, where we actually work with the whole team. It's not just one person at a time. Yes, we will have some conversations with the leader of the team, because their influence within the team impacts a whole bunch of different elements and aspects in it. And we also look at the team as a whole and the interactions between everyone in the team, and how our system might be contributing to some of those interactions. Because I don't know about you guys, but typically I don't get up in the morning and go, I want to make somebody else's life miserable. I would like to go to work and enjoy it. And so would 99.9% of the population, although we don't always show up that way. So that's what we do within the team coaching space, is seeing how we can really connect better, bring our environment into that space as well, so that we can have the conversations we need to have in order to be a value-adding team and not only high-performing. So that's the places where I am working, and just to give you guys a bit of an idea of what it entails. And that also brings me back to you, Dr. JACALYN.
Congratulations. It sounds like a subway is going by right now, or some kind of train. So I do want to say hello to our friends at E360 TV. We're glad to have you with us. And hello to all of our regular viewers. We are very close to hitting the 100,000 subscriber mark, by the way. I think we're at 96,700, something like that. So thank you for everyone's loyalty. So let's get into self-care and what that looks like for you, what it looks like for me, maybe what it looks like for people that we're coaching or people we interact with. So when you think of self-care, what is coming up for you? Is it doing your hair? Is it doing your nails? Like, what is it that initially pops into your head, Mariska?
When I hear self-care for myself, it is around how I am taking care of myself. And yes, it might include hair, nails, and smelling nice and all those other things. And it also, for me personally, include my energy management. So when I think about self-care, I also think about, do I get enough sleep? Do I have activities that I enjoy doing that fills my cup? How do I actually fill my cup, and what sort of activities can I do to do that? So looking at my energy management for me is a way for me to look at my self-care, because what I have found over time is it has evolved and it changes, and depending on, well, how full and or empty my cup, I may or may not be showing up as my best self. So making sure that my energy is in a space where it is appropriate for me to actually interact with the wide world out there just makes it a lot easier for me then also to show up the way that I want to show up. And that definitely in the energy space is the big one that I think of when I think of self-care. And to that point, Dr. JACALYN, what is it for you?
I think you hit the nail on the head when you mentioned energy, because that to me is huge. And I know I've been going through a few things and I don't have the energy that I used to have. It's temporary. But as a result of that, I've had to back off a couple of things that I've been involved with for years, because I just I can't do it right now. And that wasn't an easy decision for me to make because I always feel like I'm letting people down. But at the same time, I know that I have to focus on what I have to focus on, my health, my businesses, and then I can go back to doing some other things. But a priority for me is definitely exercise. Exercise is huge. I was working out 3 hours a day, and then with some health issues, not able to. But I have to say, the last 4 days, I've gotten in 2 hours a day. So I'm pretty excited about that and very, very grateful. So what about exercise for you? I don't recall, you and I did a show at a gym background, but are you a gym rat, or do you like to go outside and you're more of a nature person? What are your thoughts when it comes to how and where you exercise?
I enjoy nature, and I also enjoy exercises that doesn't necessarily feel like exercise. So for instance, playing squash or tennis or things like that, to me, it's a fun game. And I also get exercise in. I enjoy gardening, and I know that, well, in the apartment that you are, Dr. Jacalyn, I think the gardening might be located in pots. I have a little bit more space around here, so I can actually put a shovel into the soil. And that on its own, especially if you have a lot of soil to be shoveling, can be a very good exercise as well. So I enjoy exercises where I am doing something else as well. It's something fun that I enjoy doing, and then I get to have some exercise in between. 10-pin bowling is also one of those things where you can go and play and have fun with your friends. And yes, it is a form of exercise too. So that's the way of exercising that I enjoy. Gyms, I think I've been in a gym maybe 3 times in my life. It did not stick.
Not everybody loves the gym, right? And not everybody has to love the gym because there's other things that you can do. So I think gardening is amazing. And I do have 2 plants right now. I did have 2 trees and 2 plants, but there's not enough sun here and the poor trees just went by the wayside. So I think another one that's really important, and I don't take this for granted as I age, is sleep. Sleep is so important. And I've been really lucky, knock on wood, this chair in front of me is wood, that I've not had to ever take any kind of sleeping aid or anything else. I used to enjoy my Chardonnay, and I can't drink anymore. So I don't really have anything that can put me to sleep except pure exhaustion. And then I also, in my mind, go through the 50 states of the US in order. And that helps me fall asleep too. And I'm really proud that I know all the states too, and all the continents and the planets. So how's your sleep?
Dr. Jacalyn, I love the fact that you go through all the states. It's almost like counting sheep. You're just counting and naming the states. And when you get to 50, typically it works. That reminds me to maybe name the sheep. Not that I ever really count sheep. For me, the things that help me to fall asleep is having a good bedtime routine of sorts. So typically what we try to do in our household, I have gotten my cat to be used to more or less a 8 p.m. in the evening little snack before we go to bed. So he will come and tell me, hey, it's 8 o'clock. And then once he's told me that it's 8 o'clock and I gave him this little snack, we will normally move towards the bedroom area and then go and read. Now, reading for me, depending, of course, on the book, some of them, if I want to fall asleep a little bit quicker, I might read something that's really, really boring. When I get to reading the same sentence the 3rd or 5th time, sort of like, yep, okay, I'm done. And then I'll just fall asleep. Or, as you mentioned, being really, really exhausted. So yesterday I had a very, very long day, and it was one of those. So I ended up actually sleeping straight through, because with said cat, we have also now changed our sleeping routine. he has a tendency to come at around about between 2 and 3 in the morning to wake me up so that he can get some cuddles. Of course, very important for a cat to have cuddles at that time of the evening. And then he will also again come and wake me up around about between 4 and 4:20, which is more or less when we get up as well, to come for round 2 of cuddles. Last night, I was totally knocked out. I didn't even notice him coming by for his cuddles. My husband said that he did jump on the bed and tried to wake me up. Apparently, I didn't, so he just left.
Wait, let's talk about the fact that you get up at 4:20 in the morning. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what does one do at 4:20 in the morning?
Well, you slowly get out of bed. I prefer to have as few lights on as possible that time of morning because my brain is still waking up and I am still waking up. Typically, we will then start with the whole food and cleaning and all the rest sort of process, cleaning ourselves, not cleaning our house, so that we can get ready because my husband normally leaves for work around 6:30. And we also want to get in a nice walk in the morning before he goes off to work. So in order to do all of those little routines and make sure that everybody's ready, we need to get up at 4:20. Of course, this also entails that I go to bed a whole lot earlier than most other people. So I'm okay with being up early in the morning. Thank you very much, my parents, because we used to have a dairy, and with dairies, they used to be already busy milking at 3 a.m. So for me, 4:20 feels like a lie-in. I can be nice and relaxed. But apparently, the waking up early in the morning started early for me at an early age. What's your normal wake-up time in the morning, Dr. Jacalyn?
Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed to say. So around now it's about 8 a.m. And that's because I have ulcerative colitis, so I'm up a lot throughout the night. So I don't really sleep. I fall asleep easily and then things happen. I have to get up and then I go back to sleep, but I fall asleep very quickly. So by the time I'm getting settled, it's probably 5 and then I get up at 8. But normally, under normal conditions, I would go to bed at 10 and I would get up at 6, but never 4:20. When I was living in Florida and I was teaching spin class, I had a class I would teach at 6 a.m. So I'd get up at 4:45. So you beat me through and through.
Well, and it definitely depends on sleep patterns when we go to bed, all of those sort of rhythms and routines. And I'm sure that I won't easily get up at 3 in the morning. Forget it. My brain doesn't want to work that time of day. And even at the time of day that we do get up, as I said, slow. And my brain doesn't always work that early already. By around 6, 7-ish, I'm good to then start with coaching sessions. That's not too bad. Whereas for other people, it might be way too early. So it makes a difference as to our own routines and what we enjoy. Some people enjoy staying up till 1, 2 a.m. So for them, if they had to get up at 4, it means like 2 hours sleep.
Yes. Supposedly we need 8 hours of sleep. And then as we get older, we need more hours of sleep. So I don't know, but I used to be a person who would get 4 hours of sleep because I was working my full-time job. Then I had a side job. Then I had another side job. And I was thinking, yes, I'm really living the dream. I'm just able to work all the time. And I don't need a lot of sleep. But now I realize how foolish that is. We've got to have sleep. And we actually have to take a commercial break right now because it's time. We're going to hear from Steve Klein, who's one of our true blue fans. And Steve Klein has some beautiful art. And I have to say, I am the owner of a few pieces he has. Let's take a look and we'll be right back. USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Steve Klein Art. at steveklein.art.
My name is Steve Klein, born Manchester, England, 1953. My quest in my lifetime is to create artwork from my soul and the deepness within my wildest dreams and fantasies. In 2012, my heart stopped when I was given too much anesthetic for a minor knee operation, and this near-death experience took me to another multi-dimensional world, an out-of-body experience, and I was given the gift of being blessed by an overwhelming, burning passion to become, for the very first time in my life, an artist with an eternal, passionate desire to bring my art, which I've named multi-dimensional, subliminal, freeform art, to the world, as only 3% recover from what I experienced, and now in my golden years want to release my cosmic, vital energy through my art to allow people to be a part of my cosmic dance.
To learn more, email roccogoodwine@gmail.com. For VIP pricing, mention USA Global TV and Radio. Just like that, we're back on A Woman's Prerogative here at USA Global TV and Radio. If you are interested in any of Steve Klein's art, please do reach out. His contact information is there. You can contact me. I will be sharing some of the beautiful pieces that I own. Believe it or not, he's in the Netherlands. I'm in the US, and I have some of his beautiful artwork framed here in my home. Let's welcome the star of our show, Mariska joining us from Australia. Hello and welcome.
Hello and welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. So we're talking about self-care today, and we reviewed a number of topics. What about massage, or what is the other thing? Pressure. I forget what it's called, where you do some kind of pressure things.
Acupuncture?
Thank you. Acupuncture. Do you do either of those?
Massaging, yes, from time to time. I know one of my friends has I think it is a weekly or every 2 weeks appointment where she goes for massages, and it is different types. So sometimes she goes for more sport type of massages, depending on what she was up to. And other times more relaxation type of massages. So there's also such a wide variety of things within that massage space. It is, to me, it always feels like a treat. So when I feel like I want to do something really special for myself, that is typically when I will go for a massage. So in my head, I have reserved it for special occasions. And in saying that, it doesn't need to be a special occasion. Sometimes we just need to pamper ourselves, and that is as special as the occasion needs to be. Or, I don't know, if Dr. Jacalyn, have you ever felt like, I really, really want this one thing in my life, whatever it might be, a piece of chocolate or a massage, and then just wanted to go and get one?
Absolutely. I love massage. I haven't had one in probably a year. I get one maybe once a year. And part of the reason is, to your friend's point, who was getting it done on a regular basis, I found when I had a membership to one of these massage places and I was going at least once a month, it was different than if you get one here or there, once a year, because when I get it now, I always seem to come down with something. So I know they're releasing all these toxins from your body. Mm-hmm. And so since I'm not going on a regular basis, I guess the toxins build up. So I don't really want to go and end up sick. So I'd have to start going on a regular basis. But I have to say, I'm going to give a little bit of a secret, maybe too much information. I don't know. But every night before I go to sleep, I'll have something on Netflix, and I will take out this beautiful cream with vitamin E oil, and I will massage my feet, and then I massage my hands, and then I put little socks on my feet, and I just feel like it's good for your skin, and it releases, any tension that you might have, especially since I do a lot of weightlifting, and my feet, I'm standing most of the day. So that's my little secret that I do. Don't tell anyone.
Well, we just shared it with the whole world.
Yes,
but I promise I won't say anything.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So what are your thoughts about, I'm just going to put this out there because it just popped into my head. I don't get this done, but you don't have to say if you do or not. Many people do. Waxing. Waxing is a self-care thing. People don't want to shave, so they go and get waxed. What do you think?
I have never done that. I don't know whether it's fortunately or unfortunately, I'm not a sucker for pain.
I don't hear you screaming from here. So.
Yeah, I do own a razor. It works pretty well.
I love it. I love it. Same with me. So one thing that I do for self-care is my hair. So I have my hair colored, which is great. And then I also from Instagram, I saw this, I want to say it's an ad. And since we're not paid spokespersons here for this company, I'm not going to mention the name of it, but the ad shows these women with, this long hair and they're flipping it over and they're doing this and they're doing that. And so you can take these capsules, which are allegedly all natural things, mostly B complex vitamins that help your hair and your skin and your nails. So I've been taking it for about a year and a half. And I have to say, I mean, my hair is pretty long and I just had it cut. So I really think that it works. And in the other supplements that I take, I don't see anything with B vitamins. So I do treat myself to that because it does cost money. And I do take other supplements, which I think is part of self-care. What about you? Do you take any vitamins or supplements?
Yes to both. And for me, the nails and hair and that sort of thing, making sure that all the things can have enough of what they need to actually do what they're supposed to be doing is the main reason why I do that, because unfortunately in the food we eat, we don't always get all of the nutrients in that we need. And I've also, well, from time to time, seeing as I've moved quite a few countries, you don't always get the same things in the same places. So I've had to re-look at the type of supplements and vitamins that I take in and make sure that they actually work the way that I want them to work. I've had one, for instance, where it helped with your joints. And unfortunately, so the stuff that it had in it was a specific thing that they get out of oysters. It's really good for your joints. And I also have now I can't remember the medical term for it. So what happens is the cartridge around your joint gets little leaks and the fluid inside of it leaks out and makes weird little bubbles. So unfortunately, having taken that specific supplement, it made my joint spaces very lubricated, so much so that my the piece that's around it didn't like all the pressure. So I had to stop using that. Damn good and not good at the same time because my body just doesn't like it. So that's sort of things that I look at when taking supplements, and of course whether they're actually absorbing properly. Otherwise, well, the body will just eject it. And that's not what I want. I don't want to pay a whole bunch of money for something and then literally waste it. That would just be sad. So Dr. JACALYN, I'm very happy to hear that that supplement actually works.
We had a show on last Monday, I think, with Justin Rigliani. The show is You as a Whole Body, Mind, and Soul. And he talked specifically about supplements. And in the U.S., we have a government entity. I mean, a lot of the government entities have been demolished or gotten rid of. But this one's still in existence, as far as I know, the Food and Drug Administration. And they do not oversee supplements. So you or I could come up with anything and put it in a bottle and sell it and say it's a supplement. It does this, it does that. Now, apparently, if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, then the FDA steps in. And I'm using air quotes and all of this, so please don't quote me because I don't work for the FDA. So what about in Australia? Do you have a governing body that oversees supplements, or is it something similar where anyone can really put something in a package and say it does this and that?
I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. Good question. We'll need to look into it. Potentially Google will be able to tell me, but no, I have no clue whatsoever. I know that normal medications get regulated, but as for supplements and vitamins and stuff like that, no clue.
It could be the same thing that we have here in the States. You mentioned earlier about for your joints, were you taking, I hope I'm going to say right, conjoined glucosamine, something like that?
It sounds like that might have been it.
I might have butchered the name somewhat, but you mentioned about oysters. That is one that that's a supplement I cannot take because I have my shellfish allergy. So what's interesting is during the pandemic, I was watching a show on Netflix. It was The Ink Master about tattoos. I have no tattoos, but I always thought it was interesting. What are the reasons behind people getting tattoos? So I started looking into it, and some of the tattooing ink, primarily the black ink, has oyster shells that are crushed oyster shells. So for someone like me, if I were to go and get a tattoo, that could be life or death because of my allergy to shellfish. So it is interesting that you would find oyster shells in supplements like that, and also in tattooing ink, and I'm not sure what else. So when you think about the fact that there's not a governing body per se, who knows what could happen, right? You have to be really careful. And then what is the interaction between what you're taking, maybe some pharmaceuticals, maybe your food? It's really tough to say. So I think when it comes to self-care, that's when you have to be really, really doing a lot of research. What about, and this is one I'm not really good with, what about vacations? What about taking a vacation and getting away from all of it? Tell me about your vacations.
Vacations. Let's see. Well, typically we try to have one at least once a year. And from time to time, it's not necessarily a going away. It's just putting the world away, so to speak, so that we can spend a bit of time with each other, me and my husband, and now said cat, having a little bit more of home doing, so to speak. So it might be a staycation. And of course, we also do enjoy traveling and seeing new places and going to different areas. So from time to time, the vacation might also be short trips. So it might be a weekend or a day trip that we also enjoy interacting with. So to me, vacations is really in the energy management space for some odd reason in my brain. It is around what is it that I need, where am I within my year phase, and how does it feel? Does it feel like I need a bit of a break? Does my brain need a bit of a break? For me, even, and Dr. Jacalyn, this might sound very weird, I have a fondness for books. So the books part isn't the weird part. The weird part is I have both educational material that I enjoy reading within the leadership space, as well as all sorts of made up stories. So it might be science fiction or fiction or horror stories from time to time, or anything within the, what do you call it? Puzzle solving sort of Agatha Christie type of books. So for me, a vacation, if I had a lot of reading within the learning space where I did a lot of leadership development type of reading, or I, like with my team coaching course that I'm busy with at the moment, I've got a lot of reading within that space. At a stage, and it's like, I need a vacation from that. And I don't necessarily go away. I literally pick up a fantasy book or a Star Trek or something that is way out there and absolutely novel, and it has nothing to do with just normal life. And I will go on vacation that way, because guess what? That person created a whole world I can go and explore. So that's a way that I also take vacation. How about you, Dr. Jacalyn? I know that physical vacations, not so much, but other types of vacations?
I went to London in November,
Mhm.
and even though it was a business trip, I had a ton of fun. And there was a lot of pressure because I was teaching and I was also speaking, but I made sure that I had fun, whatever it was I was doing, and even making jokes about over there, everybody, I shouldn't say everyone, but the people I was with walk everywhere instead of take a car. So there's a ton of walking, and then trains, and then subways, they call the tube, and up escalators, three escalators straight up carrying your stuff. It's just like, wow. But we actually kind of had it as a race to see who could get up there fastest. But of course, Philip Sykes won every single time. So I think of that as a vacation. And, it's interesting. Someone very close to me spoke to me the other day, actually, and just out of nowhere said, listen, I want to let you know, you work and you work out, and that is not living. You do not have a life. And I thought, I don't? What am I doing? And is somebody else showing up instead of me? And the person said, you need to do other things outside of work and work out. But I love working and I love working out. And I get to interact with other people. So I've been thinking about it, and I say, no, I like what I'm doing. I don't feel like I need to do anything else.
See, and that is when we love our work so much that we don't mind doing that all the time. You are living, and
Definitely.
It's your life. So you can choose how you want to spend your time. And those are important things to you. So I see nothing wrong with it.
It's very true. And last week I taught the setting boundaries and asking permission course to a group of people. And tomorrow I'm teaching, it's actually a 4-hour course. I'm teaching the other 2 hours tomorrow night. And then the following day, actually on my birthday, I'm teaching an entire new group in person. So I just love it. I love it enough that I'd say, hey, on my birthday, I don't mind doing this. I'm going to come and do it. So for me, just what we're doing here, Mariska, is creating a legacy that long after we're gone, people can watch these shows, and things that we're saying today are still relevant, unless somebody's going to oversee supplements, then that might be dated. But we're providing all kinds of insights and just awareness about things. So I want to salute you and thank you for all that you've done and all you continue to do. You're also one of our expert presenters on Talking Heads. And you've just been with me, as I mentioned, from the very beginning, before there even was this platform. I think it was Rapping with Dr. JACALYN. So thank you so much for all your contributions, your friendship, and your loyalty through all the years.
Oh, it is absolutely my pleasure. And yes, this is a legacy. I actually watched a series the other day. So this is a South African series, which I cannot remember the name of. And there's an actress that played in it that also passed away. I think it was the beginning of this year or the end of last year. And it was so nice to just see her in that show acting. And she left a legacy via that story. So we will also be leaving legacies, and who knows what will happen with the internet one day. We don't have a crystal ball to see what might happen with it. And this might live on for literally ever. So I may go back to some of the shows and go, again, I'm not too sure why I said that. And who knows? It might be something somebody had to hear at some point in time, now or in the future. And who am I to keep that from them? So thank you, Dr. JACALYN, for giving us this platform. And if you have a message and you want to get it out there and you want to share it with the world, please get in contact with Dr. JACALYN so that you can also be able to do that and build your legacy.
Very true. Very well said. Thank you so much. And I just want to leave everyone with this. When an opportunity comes your way, what if you decided to say yes instead of no, I don't want to? I mentioned about self-care. I've had to back away from a couple of things for now. I mean, I've been doing them for years and years and years because I need to strengthen myself, and that's what I'm doing. But if an opportunity presents itself and you're willing and able to consider it, why not walk through that door? Because just like Mariska did, just like I did, who knows where it's going to take you? Mariska, who would be a great client for you, or someone that you'd like to just have contact you? You know, people they're trepidatious about reaching out. I hear this all the time. I saw the show, I wanted to reach out, but they don't do it because they're afraid of getting out of their comfort zone. You're a very nice person. You're very easy to talk to. You obviously can help people. You are helping people. Who would you like to contact you, and how do they do it?
Well, if you are thinking of stepping into leadership, or you are already within your leadership space and you are thinking of actually growing and evolving into a different space, or even a better you within your space, those would be people that can contact me, and I would love to have a conversation around how we might be able to work together. And I might not be the person that you need, and that's fine too. The conversation is the start, because that is how we can actually help you to grow into that person that you want to be. So the ways for you to get hold of me and reach me is either via my website, which you can see there, and my email is mariska@journey2discover.com. So you will also find it down in our little banner at the bottom. Alternatively, you can also find me on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, I'm Mariska du Preez. Oh, just look at that. They found the rest of my surname. Don't know how
wow,
that
your
happened.
name's back. I love it. You were just Mariska D for so long.
Yes, it seems like somebody is listening to the show.
I love it.
This is so good. I have my full surname again. So you can find me on LinkedIn and write me a direct message there so we can start our conversation. And to your point, Dr. Jacalyn, I know that a lot of the time people think that, well, you on the show and I might not know what to speak to you about or how this works. You know what? I'm a human being just like you are. And I would love to have a conversation. And that is how everything starts, is with an open door and a conversation. So I am inviting you to have the conversation. I would love to. It would be fun. I am sure of it, because we will both ensure that it is fun. And with that, I would also love to hear from Dr. Jacalyn as to what she's up to.
Well, I don't know what's in the middle of the screen because there's nothing there. I don't know why we have this big black box. Let's see. Okay, so what I'd like to say is if anybody out there would like to be a guest, please go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com/book your session. If you'd like to be considered to have your own show, we'd love to hear from you and grill you up. No, we'd like to just interview you about what would make sense. Go to our website, usaglobaltv.com or usaglobaltv.com. And with that being said, we're going to say goodbye to everyone. Thank you to E360. We appreciate all of you there. E360 is an incredible distributor of content, and they're growing in leaps and bounds. They've been around for probably double the amount of time that we have. Aaron's doing an amazing job over there. Aaron, thank you so much. And thank you, Mariska. I really appreciate you being here. And we'll be back next week. And our next show is You as a Whole, Body, Mind, and Soul with Justin Morigliani. So let's stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we're going to go over to our sponsors. Bye for now. Bye, everyone. Bye.
In a world full of noise, misunderstandings, and interruptions, master the art of listening with Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK is the listening mentor of USA Global TV and Radio and the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening. Elevate your listening. Elevate your life. Join a global learning experience in person or via Zoom. Reserve your spot today. usaglobaltv.com/book-your-session. or drjacalyn.thinkific.com. Join Dr. Kerbeck's listening courses or hire her to unlock deeper connections and authentic conversations.
5 little known secrets for dementia caregivers with Tracy Cram-Perkins.
Hi there, I am Tracy Cram-Perkins, the host of the Dementia Home Care Show here on USA Global TV and Radio. I am also the author of the book of the same name. And you'll see this QR code. This is for an extended version of the same talk. So if you want to see the full hour-long version, feel free to scan the code and go to that website. Stick with me. We'll talk about 5 little known secrets to make it a little easier to do dementia caregiving. What you're seeing on the left-hand side is a healthy aged brain, age 55 and above. The one you're seeing on the right is an Alzheimer's disease brain. It is in moderate disease. It is shrinking. It has holes in it. The memories that were in those holes no longer exist. When you're learning something, let's say in kindergarten, you learn how to tie your shoelace. Well, then by the time you're in 2nd grade, your brain remembers that information from tying the shoelace and applies it so you can learn more quickly how to tie more complex knots. So the brain is hardwired to do this for us, so it helps us learn faster so it doesn't take us long to acquire knowledge. The brain is looking for the information and they pick the closest to wherever that hole is. Let's look at some tips that we can use to help do that. These are 5 simple tools you can use as a dementia caregiver to help your loved one. The whiteboard is a useful tool in recording the day's activities and the answers to repetitive questions. The calendar clock is a very useful tool to orient your loved one on the day, the date, and the time, and remind them of upcoming appointments. The communication cards are a great tool to bridge the gap when they can no longer tell you what's wrong. And then there's the pill minder, for when your loved one is still able to take pills but needs prompting. The final tool I want to share with you is the memory book. It tells your loved one's story. It's a great tool for distraction, redirection, also as a conversation starter, and telling you where they are in their story so you know how to answer their questions. Music is probably the most powerful tool in your toolbox after laughter. Music is a way to maintain connection. It sticks with your brain longer than any other thing, including reading. When you're having an issue with somebody, you can play their favorite music if you move them to another room, something that makes them happy, or you can start singing songs together from their childhood. These are some of my favorite books for caregivers. My show airs on the 3rd Tuesday of every month, and you can view past episodes on YouTube. Thank you, everyone.
This program has been brought to you in part by Tracy Cram-Perkins. Connect with her and order her book at tracycramperkins.com. For more information about Alzheimer's disease, support resources, and how you can help, contact the Alzheimer's Association at 1-800-272-3900 or visit their website at www.alz.org. They offer 24/7 helpline support and a wealth of information to assist you and your loved ones.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting. We're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.